And what I've learned through that, this change, like other changes, requires you to level up your professionalism.
They're
You're already,
a hot topic that I've heard around lately, especially down here, is the privatization of beaches.
yes,
And you brought up, we are recording,
let's do it.
and we're still solid. Hey guys, Eric and Nathan coming at you with an in-person version of the Nashville Destin Connection. Feels good to be here hanging out,
For
not
sure.
letting technology do its thing today from afar. We are here. We just got done checking out a property, a little project that we're working on together down the road, and just feels good to be here in person, talking a little bit of real estate. And speaking of talking a little bit of real estate, there's been a lot going on in the industry lately.
There has.
You have been at the forefront, my friend, of a lot of agent education and just kind of eliminating a lot of the fear mongering and whatnot that's going on seemingly kind of in our industry with some of these NAR changes.
Sure.
And I just wanted, could you just bring kind of your perspective of what's been happening and kind of what your take on the whole thing is?
Well, I've been in the business for 23 years, and so through that time period, you've had to adapt. Industries change. There's always changes that happen, and I actually like it when it changes because it requires you to become re-educated. It keeps agents from being stagnant or not elevating where they're at as a professional. And what I've learned through that, this change, like other changes, requires you to level up your professionalism. You're already starting to see the non-professionals kind of navigating out of our market a good bit. There was a lot of growth during COVID because let's be real, the activity in some areas was so strong, you didn't have to be a great real estate agent to navigate. And with the new NAR changes, it just requires us to have more transparency. You and I have already talked about how we already are transparent with our customers, but with any profession, you have some that aren't. And the new laws require you to have a true consultation with your buyer to share with them how the commission structure is done, how you can negotiate that into the offer itself for the seller to compensate, and what the requirements are of the seller does not. And I also think that you're starting to see where in the beginning, all these brokerages were like kind of combative a little bit with each other if their way was the right way or not. Ultimately, it comes down to professionals working with each other for the betterment of their customer, and that's to deliver great service, to get them to the finish line successfully, as seamlessly as possible. And with the new regulations, it requires more conversation up front, and I actually think that's a good thing for our market.
I couldn't agree more. I think so much of it was based on fear up front and just not knowing the fear of the unknown. How's this going to affect the industry, my career? How will this affect my clients? And to your point, we just focus on the right things, taking care of clients. And I love what you said about even just different brokerages working together, setting that aside. How do we serve the client? And much like we were able to do with the client down the street, that was just an introduction that got made to me. We found some pain points. We're working together. You're moving forward with the listing agreement here to bring this thing to the market, but ultimately you're solving the client's problems, putting them in a better place.
And we're at two different brokerages, finding ways to work together for the good experience, and that's what real estate is about. I think anyone that feels poorly about a real estate agent is probably because they had a bad experience with one.
Naturally.
My favorite thing about selling real estate is when you serve your customer on such a level that the deal gets successfully closed and everybody's happy. Right? Everyone feels like, man, this is a great deal, and that's the art of relationship that you can build through this business and what we take pride in.
Couldn't agree more. And where we're sitting right here, just to transition a little bit, we were talking proximity of these lovely vacation rentals or second homes that can serve different purposes, but ultimately the location that these are in. And you were touching on another hot topic that I've heard around lately, especially down here, is the privatization of beaches.
Yes.
And you brought up a great point about when you're searching for properties in this area, paying attention to your proximity to things like Topsail State Park.
Yeah, a lot of the private homeowners, they have lots that are deeded to the water's edge. Doesn't mean that you can't enjoy the beach in front of those spots, but you can't necessarily lay out and use those spots. You can walk along the water's edge, you can go for a swim, but it's important to find a property that's located next to a regional access. Those are public accesses as well as state parks. Fortunately, the three listings that we're sharing with all of y'all today are positioned in a great spot for beach accessibility, and that's important. I also think it's important just to have common courtesy, right, on both sides of the coin to navigate a great experience for the vacationer. The property that we just spoke about that's on Dune Drive, this is in West 30A. There's a lot of beach accessibility over here, and a beautiful state park. Topsail State Park is just down the street, and it's my favorite place to go to the beach anywhere along this coast. 3.5 miles of untouched beach frontage. Truly like a sanctuary. It's where I always go walk on the beach. The one that we looked at Dune, that we're working together, that is a custom, brand new build, really high end. It's going to be in the high 4 million range. Extremely metropolitan, getting away from the beach cottage in that home. Multiple kitchens, great living space, bedrooms. There's going to be a rooftop balcony to
movie
have
theater,
a panoramic view of the Gulf. Yeah, there's just a lot of great features there. I'm really excited to have that one come to the market. It will be fully furnished too, and we should be ready to roll on that one probably in about a month.
Can't wait to see the finished
And
product.
we'll share that one obviously when that's done.
Absolutely.
The home we're sitting in right now is 45 North Bishop. That's also right around the corner. Again, great beach accessibility, 3 regional accesses and a state park. This home is also brand new construction. It has a guest house that you can rent separately or enjoy separately. And the main house is very spacious, big balconies, great interior finishes. This home is coming on the market around this afternoon or tomorrow morning at 2.795. But it's just a great property. I love the fact that it backs up to this beautiful green space behind that feels very tropical, private. But yet you can walk to the Gulf and have great beach experience here. And the third one that we're going to share is 18 Playa Linda Court. Love this home. It's priced at 2.45. This is actually on the east side of 30A, which is also a very popular spot, and they're building a new regional access right off of Eastern Lake. You can paddleboard, go to the beach. That particular home also has 2 separate units in the same house, a ground floor studio with a beautiful outdoor deck, hot tub. You can rent that or use that separately, or if you have a large family that you want to use it all together, the teenagers or whatever can have their own space, or another couple. I really like that feature. And that particular home has interior finishes that you would typically see in like a $4 to $5 million home, but it's at 2.45.
Beautiful.
And that's a really great property as well.
Yeah, and we were talking about this. The property that we're sitting in right now is just such a great example of these things are just tailor made for vacation rental experiences, and just such a high end, comfortable feel to them. It just makes you want to sit down and stay for a while. So these are beautiful listings that you guys have brought to the market, and can't wait for you guys to check them out. Hit up the links below. We'll share more information there for you guys. Let's talk just a little bit, as we always do. We don't always want to talk real estate. We're real estate guys, right? But this area down here, naturally, when a lot of people are visiting on vacation, or I'm sure the locals go out to dinner once in a while around here too, right? But naturally, there's always seafood on the menu, and we think that people might just get stuck in a little rut with getting some normal or some common items when it comes to what's on the menu seafood wise. And as always, I want to hear your take on what people should actually be looking for. Let's talk a little bit about fish today.
Yes. So what's unique about the Northwest Florida Gulf Coast is that we have the highest variety of fish of anywhere on the Gulf of Mexico. I think the Gulf Stream pushes it all up in the top of our cove of Northwest Florida. Traditionally, people are usually going for the grouper, the snapper, mahi.
Guilty.
All 3 of those are some of my absolute favorites. But when you see some other varieties on the menu at times, and I would always look at what the fresh catch is for the day. Triggerfish is a fish that most people don't hear about. It's one of my all-time favorites. Super white and flaky, delicate, super mild. Cobia migrates through our Gulf every spring. It's a little bit more of a dense fish, almost like a tuna steak, but extremely mild white fish. We do get a lot of tuna offshore, both yellowfin and bluefin tuna, which is a huge delicacy on the bluefin. But what a lot of people don't realize too is our shrimp and our oysters and scallops are harvested from this area just east of here. We have shrimp that's called royal red shrimp, and they're some of the best that you'll have anywhere in the world, in my opinion. Scallops and oysters that are more of the St. Joe Apalachicola Bay. But flounder, redfish, it goes on and on. Open up your palate a little bit, try some new seafood. I've truly believed that this area is a melting pot for fresh seafood. There's also some great seafood markets here that you can bring down a cooler and they'll pack it full of ice to take home to enjoy either at your place you're on vacation or drive it or fly it home
Yeah.
when you go back home. And there's some great local seafood markets as well.
Those are great tips. And might be a bit of a curveball here, but we talked about it before with the Destin Rodeo coming up. Speaking of fishing,
Fishing rodeo, yeah.
That's all through October, correct?
Yeah, they do. They have big fishing competitions here. And in fact, Destin used to be called, before anyone knew about it, just the world's luckiest fishing village. And we have record-breaking fish here, from huge blue marlin to Warsaw grouper. But they have all these fishing rodeos where you can make some serious money from catching the largest
you go.
size of all the varieties. And a lot of anglers enter into these competitions, and you see them walking away with some their pockets filled with cash
That's wild.
sometimes when they win.
That's wild. If anybody's thinking about a trip down here soon, I know we've been here in October at times, and we just sat at AJ's where they were just backing the boats in, unloading the fish, weighing them and everything. It is a sight to behold, even if you're not a fisherman or a fisherwoman. If you're not into that kind of stuff, it's still a great experience to be on the harbor walk down there, spending some time and seeing all the boats and all the energy. Well, wrap things up then.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Good to
thank
see
you
you, brother.
guys. Yeah, man, you too. Thanks for joining us for the Nashville Destin Connection. As you can see, this is why I love working with this guy, partnering up on real estate and just getting to know more about the Emerald Coast. He's a wealth of knowledge, real estate and otherwise. So it's great to be partnered up with you, man. I appreciate the value that we're bringing to folks,
For sure.
whether you're in the Nashville area or otherwise. If you're interested in learning more about the Destin area, if you're interested in second homes or vacation rentals, please contact us. Nathan and I would love to team up. And as we said at the beginning, bring you guys value, put the focus on helping you win. We'd love to be a part of that. So take the link below, reach out, and we will see you next time.
Yeah, look forward to it. Thank you.
Take care, guys.